Hey family, thanks so much for joining me. So I wanted to bring you another video. I wanted to talk with you about another reading. So let me just put the disclaimer on here. Take what resonates and leave the rest. This is a timeless reading. Could have already happened, could be happening now, could happen in the future. Um, Sometimes I'll say divine feminine and I mean divine masculine and vice versa. We both have masculine and feminine energies in our bodies. So use those terms as they apply in your situation. If you'd like to work with me for readings, twin flame stuff, my information is in the description below. I get my information from God and from the Holy Spirit. I don't use any cards or anything. Trying to think if there's anything else. Yeah. If I leave anything out, I will try to sprinkle it in as we go along in the reading. But I wanted to get into this reading. So it looks like new love is coming for divine masculine, divine feminine, could be both. But you might have just left a situation. I was talking about it in another video. You might have left another situation with the divine masculine where you felt like he was not authentic and he was trying to pull you into a life of not being authentic. So he would only reward you for certain things, or he would only compliment you very minimally. And so for you, you were always telling him he was great and he's fantastic and he's brilliant and all these things. But it seems like he wasn't doing the same for you. And even though it didn't diminish you at all, you just felt like when does the reciprocity start? And as a result, you um came back into, not that you ever left it, but I feel like you came back stronger into your dark feminine energy, and you ended up walking away from that situation where you felt like you were being breadcrumbed, or you felt like the person was not really reciprocating the way that they should have. So, like I said, maybe you were complimenting them all the time. They never complimented you, or very little, or whatever it was. It was always an excuse why they couldn't get together, or they couldn't do this, they couldn't do that. It was always something. But anytime that they needed something from you, you were there. So you felt like they're draining your energy. You're putting so much effort, time, energy into this situation trying to make it work, and you felt like maybe you were the only one that was doing that. And so when you continue to give and you don't receive, you feel like you need to find a situation where someone is reciprocating with you. And that is what either has walked into your life or is walking into your life right now. And I know that for both of you, maybe you've gone through experiences where you feel like, okay, you've been hurt before, person try to make a fool of you, or they, they tried to deceive you, or they tried to make you feel like you were crazy, or they tried to make you change who you were. And when you wouldn't go for it, then they would try to do little things to punish you. So it always felt like, well, you have to do this in order to get affection, or you have to do that. You always felt like a hamster on a wheel, or a mouse chasing cheese, instead of feeling like a full partner, an equal partner in the relationship you were in. You felt like you were more in, a situation where someone's, like I'm saying, got you on a hamster wheel, or a mouse chasing cheese, but you never really get it. Or if you do, it's crumbs. And then you keep running and running, and then you realize you're not going to get it, or it would take you decades or something to get to the cheese. And instead, you could get into a relationship or a union where your partner would reciprocate, that they are a better communicator, that they want to spend time, that they actually want to um, compliment you, they want to love you, they want to build something with you, really, instead of just telling you that they want to and they're the one that's benefiting and you're not getting anything out of the situation. So, new love coming into your life, and this person is reciprocating. They are complimenting you, they are spending time with you, they want you to spend time with them. They'll travel to you and they want you to travel to them. They're sharing their life with you because you asked, and they want you to share, they want you to open up. They love your thinking. They love that you're successful, but they also want to take care of you and want to help you, want to lift you up. They also want to spend money on you, they want to pamper you. They want to, instead of once in a great while you get something, or you get to spend time with them or whatever. It's no, they are saying, no, I want to spend time with you. I love you. I want to be with you. If I'm not without you, if I'm without you, or if I don't get to talk to you today, or if I don't get to talk to you, several times during the week, then I feel like something is wrong. And I want to spend time. I want to connect with you. I really want to build a union with you, instead of just kind of stringing you along, or they've got options and they're not ready to settle down with you. Then this new person actually is ready. They actually do want a relationship. They've been single, they've grown, um, they've healed from past hurts and things like that. And even if they are still healing, they're in a place where they can show up and be emotionally available in a relationship or a union or a marriage with you. And they're interested in marriage. They're interested in long term, not just short term, or not just dating you, or not just stringing you along. They want potentially kids, if that's what you want too. They want to know what you want. And so it looks different than in the past situation where you felt like the person really didn't care what you wanted, or they did, but it was sort of like to get ideas for what they wanted to do, and not so much to focus on what you wanted to do. And I feel like walking away from that last situation you were in, that person is heartbroken and they're devastated because they lost you, because they felt like they had time. They were playing, and you saying, no more games. I'm not playing with you no more. I'm done. Walking away, and they're hurt. They're heartbroken by it. And they're possibly figuring out a way, like, to contact you again. Maybe they want you back. You have to make a decision. You have to decide whether you really want to be with the person or you don't. You want to go for someone who's new, like I was talking about, the new lover, the new partner who is reciprocating, who is open, who is communicating, who is sharing with you, who wants you to share with them, who wants to pamper you, wants to spoil you, wants to spend time with you and want you to spend time with them. They know that you're busy, but they also want some of your time. They want, they see that you take care of yourself, and they also want to take care of themselves. They eat healthy. They want you to eat healthy. They want you to be around. They want you to live a long time, both of you, so that you could be around if you have kids, or just to be with each other, because they really want to spend time with you. Now, it may be taking them time to open up and express some feelings to you, because they have been hurt in the past and they're wondering, is this too good to be true? Because the divine feminine is like open, and she's interesting, and she's super smart, and she's funny, and she's beautiful, and she has great style, and she's all these things that you are, successful in business or a job, successful in social stuff, successful emotionally, mentally, physically fit. You glowed up and you look fantastic. All these areas of your life you're doing great in. So you're every woman, you're a friend to them. All these roles that it seems like you're multiple people in one, and they're finding it hard to believe that you're still single, and they're wondering, well, what is, like, what's the catch? but they're learning there's no catch. You're just single because a lot of people out there don't want to treat people right, or they don't want a good person because then they know that they have to level up and they don't want to level up. They don't want to be the best person they could be. They want to be just a little bit better than the people around them often so that they can look better or feel better about themselves. And, the last person would have told you they're working on whatever it is they're working on. They're working on becoming their best selves. They're not. They're working on, again, sometimes being a little bit better than the people around them so they can feel superior and they can try to get other people to not feel as good so they can get what they want out of them. And there might be other people who are wounded and they just can't get out of the experiences that they had and the trauma that they faced in the past. It's hard for them to move past those things and heal. And I feel like for some of you, they are, you're kind of suffering for that, that they are not able to fully open their hearts, that they're not really able to be emotionally available for you, that they're great at some things, but they're not great at, being emotionally available, opening up communication and relationships and love, being vulnerable, sharing themselves, and working on, being interested in their partner more than just using them or, harvesting their energy or um, taking their ideas and not giving them credit and things like that. There are a lot of things that you've been through and you're going through. If it's not over yet with the past person and you feel like enough is enough, and if you haven't moved on, you may be moving on soon, unless that person does a 180 and they transform into the person that they know they can be. They're just so afraid, I think, to really open themselves up and get their heart broken again because they don't know if they can survive it. But the thing is, they don't know what they're putting you through in the meantime while they're trying to protect themselves and protect their hearts. Um, so, unfortunately, you may be moving on from the old situation or situationship, but you have the new love coming in, which again, you've glowed up, you're successful financially in business or on a job, or you got a promotion. You've saved money, you're investing in things. You've got the people around you as far as friends and acquaintances that you want. You don't deal with a lot of people because you know how people are and they're the same or similar. They don't really get close to a lot of people except the people that deserve to be close to them. And that's another thing that the two of you are matching energy on. And that's being surrounded by people that you know are good people, that have good energy, that have good intentions for you, that want to build something, lift you up, encourage, support you. And so those things you're matching on, but they see that you're great in all of these different areas of your life. And that also inspires them to continue to work hard at what they're doing or smart at what they're doing. Um, and what they're doing is inspiring you to do more, to take care of your health, to take care of your spirituality and make sure that you're growing in your spiritual power. And if you're not already doing that, maybe you're out ahead of them and that's inspiring them to catch up to you spiritually because you're very powerful. Maybe you have psychic abilities, you can use your intuition very well. You might be a prophet, you might see things into the future. You might have other abilities, a lot of different things, and they admire those things about you instead of trying to hide them or not mentioning anything about them, but kind of using them for their benefit when they can. That's not what they're doing. They're saying no, they really want to encourage you to grow in those areas, and they're really fascinated and they want to continue to grow in those areas as well. So whatever they're seeing, they're inspired by, and it's encouraging them to continue to level up. Whatever you're seeing in them, it's inspiring you and encouraging you to continue to level up. But both of you are such a beautiful couple, and that's something that I think people are kind of taken aback by when they see you together. it'll be another one of those moments where they're just kind of knocked off their feet by how beautiful both of you are and intuitive both of you are and how spiritually powerful you are and how kind and loving and gentle you are, what great communicators you are. Like from the outside, it looks like both of you have it together, but the two of you are continuing to grow and saying you have so far to go. But other people around you, since they're not doing the work, it looks like, they're going to be looking at you as sort of like the model couple, and you'll be the one setting the trends. And, as twin flames do, we're creating new templates because the way that we've been dealing with each other in the past, we know that that is not working. If it were, it would have been, way lower divorce rates instead of 60% or something like that. It's it would be more like 0.06% or something like that if it really did work, but it doesn't work because we need the divine masculine and the divine feminine to get together, really help, support, encourage each other, and lift each other up. And so, of course, I'll say watch, read, listen to things that are going to lift you up. Surround yourself with others that have great energy that are also trying to support and encourage and lift you up that you can build with. Continue um, to work on your spiritual growth, your emotional, social, psychological, mental, all these different areas, and do not walk away from the physical growth, the working out, eating healthier, and things like that. Do not walk away from or abandon yourself. Continue to focus on doing these things that you need to do to get to your best self, regardless of whether you're in union or in a relationship or whatever, marriage or whatever. Continue to work on yourself as you're working on all these other areas of your life because that's how you got here. That's how you got to be so attractive to the world and to your partner. So I encourage you to continue to not leave yourself, but to stay with yourself. Continue to grow as you grow in all these other areas. Your character is so important. All right, y'all. This video is getting a little long, so I didn't want to make it too long. But thank you so much for joining me. As always, I say happy lightning fast manifesting, and I'm going to talk to y'all soon. All right. Love y'all. Bye for now.